So today we are headed to the Dollar Tree to see if we can feed ourselves for 1 week for just $5 per day. I'm going to be making 2 different breakfasts, 3 different lunches, and 3 different dinners that all turned out really great. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to grab 2 cans of tuna, some mayo. This is a really great spice selection actually here. I'm going to grab some wheat bread. I'm also going to get some peanut butter and some strawberry preserves. The refrigerator section looks particularly picked over. I just saw some bagels, but they don't have cream cheese here today. Got one of these jars of sauerkraut. I'm going to get some of this Polish sausage. I'm going to grab a pack of these flour tortillas along with some rice and beans. I'm also going to get a package of this jalapeno Velveeta cheese sauce. This is a bag of cheese ravioli frozen. I'm going to get a can of the Hunt's pasta sauce. Okay, I changed my mind. I am going to get some bagels because I have another plan for them. These are 4-pack of bagels for $1.25. All right, so I'm home from the Dollar Tree and I wanted to show you everything that I got. The total for all of these groceries was $37.25. If we calculate that by day for a whole week, that comes out to just over $5 a day, so $5.32 per day. So what I'm gonna do is kind of group these ingredients into the meals that I'm planning to make so you can get a better idea of what my meal plan is for the week. The thing is that when you're working on a super tight budget, you're not gonna have a ton of variety. So I have 2 different breakfasts, 3 different lunches, and 3 different dinners planned for the week. Over the past several months, one of the areas where I have really cut back in an effort to save money is getting coffee out. And that is why I'm super excited that Trade is sponsoring today's video. Trade is the #1 US specialty coffee marketplace. They bring you fresh coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. You can actually take their quiz, and in under a minute, they'll match you with your perfect coffee. And if that first bag isn't quite right, no problem, Trade will replace it for free until they nail it. Their prices are also on par with grocery store brands, but the quality is next level. Plus, you're supporting local roasters, so it's a win-win. I really love high quality coffee, and the fact that I can get these super high quality beans from Trade for a great price, grind them myself at home. The quality is seriously next level, and a good cup of coffee can just kickstart your day in such a positive way. Right now, Trade is exclusively offering my viewers 40% off your first order at drinktrade.com/Jen Chapin. That's drinktrade.com/Jen Chapin. You're going to get 40% off your first order, which is a huge savings. If you guys love coffee, I highly recommend you try Trade. Once again, the link is drinktrade.com/Jen Chapin. You can click on the link in the description box below to try it out or tap the screen right here. So for 4 breakfasts this week, because I have 4 bagels in this bag, I am planning on making ham and cheese bagels. Now, if for some reason your Dollar Tree has eggs, although I'm not quite sure if any Dollar Tree has eggs, you can let me know in the comments below. Mine surely doesn't, but I'm okay with that because I'm not a huge fan of eggs on breakfast sandwiches anyway. So we're just gonna do ham and cheese on the everything bagels. And then the other breakfast that we're gonna do is peanut butter and jelly on wheat toast and fruit. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain and mix together these mandarin oranges and sliced pineapple, and we're gonna refrigerate them because I like my fruit better cold. And then peanut butter toast, peanut butter jelly toast actually is something that I had a lot as a kid, and I actually still really like it, and I think it makes a perfect breakfast. For 3 lunches this week, I'm gonna make tuna salad on crackers, which isn't like a huge lunch, but I honestly think that it's perfect. I love tuna salad. I actually think I like tuna salad better on crackers than I do on bread. So I got a package of these Monet wheat entertainer crackers, one of these small jars of mayo, and then 3 cans of tuna. And then for the other lunches this week, I'm gonna do grilled cheese and pasta salad. So these boxes of Suddenly salad that they have at Dollar Tree are obviously much smaller than the ones that you find in the regular grocery store. However, this is just enough for 2 servings. I can make it with the rest of the mayo that I have from the tuna, and then obviously grilled cheese is self-explanatory. This particular meal is going to be the workhorse of the week. I've got this planned for 5 different meals, so I'm going to stretch those across 3 dinners and 2 lunches. I picked up a 10-pack of the flour tortillas. One alternative that you can do actually is, instead of buying flour tortillas, you can actually buy flour at Dollar Tree and then use any oil that you have on hand to make your own tortillas. I don't have a lot of time for that, but if you would rather do that, that's totally an option also. I also got a can of whole kernel corn, and then we're gonna cook these beans up and this rice up with some of this Goya seasoning. The ingredients in here are salt, garlic, cumin. It's got some coloring in it, and then some coriander. So it will really make a good seasoning when we cook the beans and the rice. And then the cheese selection at my Dollar Tree was a little bit limited, so I decided to pick up this jalapeno Velveeta cheese sauce. And my plan is to kind of do a burrito bowl, or you could even do like burritos with the rice, beans, and corn. I really love like Tex-Mex flavors, so that's definitely something that I can eat on repeat all week and it doesn't bother me. But sometimes I get comments on my channel like, you seem to like gravitate towards a lot of Tex-Mex foods. And I feel like I do because I was raised eating a lot of Mexican food. And so it's, I don't know, it's just something that I really enjoy and I can eat over and over. But obviously you could modify this to fit your taste. And then for the dinners. So for 2 dinners, I've got planned this 4-cheese ravioli with the Hunt's pasta sauce. If I have any bread left over, obviously I can make some quick like garlic toast in a skillet with that. And then these mixed vegetables from Green Giant. This particular bag of ravioli, it states that there's 4 servings in here, 1 cup each. But this was $3, and what I decided to do was just go ahead and get 2 servings out of this. I do feel like if you're having this as a main course, 1 cup, especially for an adult, is not probably going to be enough. So that's what I'm planning for this. And then the other 2 dinners I have planned are this Polish sausage, which I'm going to cook with the sauerkraut. I love sauerkraut. If you don't like sauerkraut, you could totally do something else. But I'm probably obviously going to have sauerkraut left over because this is a little bit of a bigger jar. And then I'm going to make these pasta sides with cheddar and broccoli. So each of these packages just has 1 serving. And this is where I feel like sometimes the prices at Dollar Tree can be a little bit misleading. Obviously, if you're just shopping at Dollar Tree, this is the only option that you have. But something like this, you're probably going to be able to get a bigger volume for cheaper at a store like Walmart. So I'm going to go ahead and soak my beans overnight. There are some methods that you can use with your Instant Pot if you have an Instant Pot where you don't have to soak your beans overnight, but I'm going to cook these on the stovetop. So I'm just going to rinse these, kind of sort through. If you ever hear the term rinse and sort your beans, it just means to rinse them off and sort through just to make sure there's no dirt or gravel in there or anything like that, and make sure that they're clean. So I've got my beans here. I went ahead and rinsed and drained them off, and I'm just going to soak them in some cold water overnight. We're also going to go ahead and prep the pasta salad tonight. So I've just got a saucepan of water here. I'll bring that to a boil. And then in this bowl, I've got 1/3 cup of mayo. I'm gonna add the seasoning for the pasta salad. And then I'm gonna add just a little splash of milk to thin the dressing out a little bit. You don't have to do that, or if you don't have milk on hand, you could just use a splash of water or just leave it as is. A lot of times Dollar Tree does have shelf-stable milk there. Mine did not have it today, so just keep that in mind if you wanted some cheap shelf-stable milk. While I'm waiting for the pasta water to boil, I'm going to go ahead and put together my tuna salad. So I just went ahead and drained those 3 cans of tuna. Okay, so I stirred in some mayo. I also added some salt and pepper, just seasoned to taste. And then I'm going to save the rest of this mayo to use for my grilled cheese. This week we're going to use this instead of butter on the outside of the sandwiches. So I'm just going to get this in a container and stick it in the fridge. Water is boiling, so we're going to add our pasta and boil this for 11 minutes. So for the fruit, I went ahead and drained it, and then these pineapples are in rings. So I just stuck a knife down into the middle and cut these into more bite-sized pieces. We'll add our oranges. That's almost 4 cups of fruit. This is a 4-cup container. Well, I guess I'd say probably about 3.5 cups. So, okay, stick this in the fridge for breakfast this week. Okay, so I drained the pasta after I soaked it in cold water for a little bit just to cool it off. I'm gonna go ahead and add that to the dressing. And I'll just mix this together and put it in a container and refrigerate it for this week for lunches. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and cook our beans for the week. So I've just got my beans that I soaked overnight in this pot with some cold water. I'm gonna add 2 packets of the Goya seasoning. Stir this up. And dried pinto beans usually take about 45 to 60 minutes to cook. It just depends on how tender you want the beans. So I'll just put the lid on, bring this to a boil, take the lid off and simmer it until they're tender. So this batch of pinto beans turned out really good and they were not overcooked. And I think the reason why is that I cooked them until they were just about tender, and then I shut the heat off and put the lid on and let them cool, and they continued cooking the rest of the way. So this 1 pound of pinto beans, you can see it actually made a little bit more than this. It makes at least 6 cups of beans. So you're definitely getting more bang for your buck than with canned beans. And this is going to give us quite a lot of nutrition this week for these meals. So here we are at breakfast. Obviously, peanut butter and jelly toast is pretty self-explanatory. I do like to put the fruit in the fridge before I eat it because I prefer it cold. So I'm just putting that out into a dish, making my peanut butter toast. And I just really love this super simple and delicious breakfast. So I don't need to explain to you guys how to make peanut butter and jelly toast because I'm sure you can figure it out. But I actually really love peanut butter toast or peanut butter and jelly toast. It is like a delicacy from my childhood, and still sometimes when I want a little snack before bed, I'll have a piece of peanut butter toast with jelly. But with the fruit on the side, we've got enough fruit easily for 2 more days. So this is what's on the meal plan for 3 of the breakfasts this week. Peanut butter and jelly toast and some fruit. Ham and cheese bagels, also very self-explanatory. I'm gonna go ahead and toast my bagel. These bagels were actually very good. I didn't know what to expect because I've never purchased bagels from the Dollar Tree before, but they were good and I'd definitely buy them again. I'm gonna put a couple pieces of ham on my toasted bagel, a piece of cheese on the top. I think there's actually even enough cheese in this meal plan to do 2 pieces of cheese if you wanted to. And then I just put that in the microwave for about 30 seconds to melt the cheese. I don't really care for egg on my breakfast sandwiches. It's not my preference, but if you have some eggs in your fridge, you can throw that on there. But this makes a perfect quick breakfast, especially during the work week. Tuna salad and crackers, also very self-explanatory. This is one of my favorite simple lunches. I was eating on the couch today, so you're getting this ridiculous footage of me putting tuna and crackers in my mouth, but I enjoyed that lunch. And then the other lunch that I had shared with you guys was grilled cheese and pasta salad. I hardly ever just make myself a grilled cheese sandwich for lunch, and I don't know why I don't, because I love grilled cheese and I kind of forgot about it until now. I always make grilled cheese for my kids, but I hardly ever make it for myself. So I use the mayo on the outside of the bread and it actually worked really well. Had that pasta salad on the side. This pasta salad actually made a good amount. You can see how much you get there. 2 servings per box, but it is a pretty big serving. So definitely a good lunch for the week. The other thing I wanted to mention about this particular meal plan and trying to eat for $5 per day is it's actually not necessarily recommended. I mean, I'm sharing this because I know that a lot of people are on super tight budgets right now, and I'm hoping that you can get at least some inspiration from this video. But if you look at the USDA website on the Thrifty food plan, which is like the lowest amount possible that it takes to feed one person per day in this country, their guidelines are at $8 per day. I personally think that $8 per day is a little bit more reasonable and sustainable, but that's still a lot of money for a lot of people, right? And so I kind of just wanted to give this as an option with the caveat that you may not be able to get all of your nutrition and calories on just $5 a day. Okay, so we're making our rice and beans, or I'm sorry, we're making our rice. We already made our beans. So I cooked my rice in the rice cooker with a couple packets of that seasoning. I really like to toast my tortillas and cook them up a little bit in a dry skillet. I think it helps so much with the flavor of them. I added my cooked beans, rice, and warmed up my corn and added that to the bowl. This looks super unappetizing because I'm just squeezing the cheese out on top of the beans. I did take this and put it in the microwave so the cheese would melt after this. It didn't look like this when I ate it. Obviously, this is beans and rice and beans. Thank you, Dave Ramsey. I really love rice and beans. I could eat it probably once a day and not get tired of it, but it definitely is a filling meal, a lot of food for not a lot of money. Next up, we're going to put together our frozen ravioli. So I just boiled some water, added some salt, and I'm adding that bag of ravioli. This particular bag of ravioli was $3 at my Dollar Tree. This actually cooked up to be a lot more ravioli than I thought it was going to be. I would definitely buy this again. I think it's a great value. And then I'm adding that can of spaghetti sauce. Hunt's spaghetti sauce is not my favorite in terms of taste, so I did kind of jazz this up a little bit with like a teaspoon of sugar, some Italian seasoning, some garlic. But once the ravioli was drained and cooked, I put it back and heated it through with the sauce. And ravioli is always a good meal, right? No meat in this meal. Like a lot of these meals don't have meat. Obviously, options are very limited at the Dollar Tree, but you still get a good portion of food with those veggies on the side. The other reason why I wanted to do this video with only Dollar Tree ingredients is because in some areas of the country, in fact, in a lot of areas of the United States, we have food deserts, and that means that unless you have reliable transportation, it is difficult for some people to be able to get to a regular grocery store, especially if they live in a very rural area. So sometimes for those folks, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar is their only option. Pretty much all of our outcomes in this country, I feel, can be traced back to some type of corporate profit or lack thereof. So especially in rural areas of the United States, if, you know, a large or small grocery chain isn't financially viable there, it's really going to impact the people that live in that region. So this meal I'm putting together is that broccoli cheddar noodles, which actually turned out very good. I've had them before, but it's been a while. And then I just sliced that sausage up and sauteed it in a skillet, added some of that sauerkraut just to heat it through, and just kind of kept that warm while the pasta finished cooking. One thing about these pasta dishes is once they're done cooking, you definitely want to let them sit on the stove for like 5 minutes just to thicken up a little bit. But this was actually quite a bit of pasta for that one serving, along with half of that Polish sausage and sauerkraut. Really good. I can never turn down any type of, kielbasa or Polish sausage and sauerkraut. So definitely a filling meal. If you're struggling to afford food for your family, please check out any resources that are in your area, including food banks. I will post a link in the description box below if you are looking for those. There's no shame in that. Everyone deserves to eat. And if you're looking for another budget cooking video, I actually just posted one this week with $10 dinners from Walmart. So you can click on that right here if you're interested.